ICE agents stormed into the homes of U.S. citizens in Oklahoma in the middle of the night, forcing a mom and her daughters outside in the rain, taking their phones, laptops, and money as, quote, evidence.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
We'll get right into last week in Southern labor. Here's what workers in the U.S. South and colonies were up to from April 25th to May 2nd. And just a note that all information on Florida's public sector union elections comes from McKenna Schuler's monthly roundup of Florida union news. You can check it out on her website, caringclassrevolt.substack.com, where you can get more information about Florida labor as well as exclusive details about union elections referenced here. So, 18 workers at Starbucks in Richmond, Kentucky filed a petition to hold a union election with Starbucks Workers United, as did 19 more workers at a location in Richmond, Virginia, and 12 workers at a location in Kansas City, Missouri. Love to see that wave continue. 88 workers at the Speed Art Museum in Louisville, Kentucky filed a petition to hold a union election with the United Auto Workers, UAW. 33 blue-collar supervisory workers at Duval County Public Schools in Jacksonville, Florida, filed a petition to unionize with AFSCME, Council 79. 13 workers at Republic National Distributing Company in El Paso, Texas, filed a petition to hold a union election with the Teamsters, Local 745. 20 workers at Jupiter Aluminum Corporation in Wellsburg, West Virginia, filed a petition to hold a union election with the United Steelworkers, USW. 338 employees of Miami Beach City in Florida filed a petition seeking voluntary recognition of their union affiliated with the Communications Workers of America, CWA. Moving on to election results, 19 workers at Technica in Fort Bliss, Texas voted 16-0 in favor of unionization with the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 351. 12 workers at Starbucks in Fairfax, Virginia voted 11-0 in favor of unionization with the Starbucks Workers United. 6 workers at Titan Truck and Equipment Company in Overland, Missouri voted 5-1 in favor of the union with IUOE Local 513. 49 workers at Reworld Hillsboro in Tampa, Florida voted 13-19 against unionization with the IBEW Local 108. 233 workers at Genesis Logistics in Stafford, Virginia voted 135-18 in favor of the union with Teamsters Local 322. Big win there in Virginia. 980 workers at Nassau County Public Schools in Fernandina Beach, Florida voted 357-15 in favor of recertifying their union. 58 workers at Herzog Transit Services in Kansas City, Missouri voted 33-2 in favor of decertifying IBEW Local 53 as their union. 27 911 dispatchers for the Flagler County Sheriff's Office in Bunnell, Florida voted 16-3 in favor of unionizing with the Coastal Florida Police Benevolent Association. 84 workers at Sherwin-Williams in Birmingham, Alabama voted in favor of unionization with the International Brotherhood of Boilermakers. Roll Tide. Squirrely LLC, a new car haul company in Stone Mountain, Georgia, voluntarily recognized their workers' unionization with the Teamsters Local 89. And moving on, because there are many, many more election results, which you can find in our newsletter, tvlr.fm/contact, if you want to get on that list. Moving on to grievances, unfair labor practices, and court cases. A large coalition of groups, including the American Federation of Government Employees, AFGE, filed a lawsuit aimed at the heart of the Trump administration's reorganization of the government, seeking to halt implementation of Trump's executive order establishing DOGE, arguing it is an unconstitutional violation of the separation of powers, making sweeping changes without legislative authority.
Hey, 5 seconds, just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate.
Moving into strikes and bargaining, Google announced a partnership with the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, IBEW, to train 100,000 electrical workers and 30,000 apprentices, increasing the electrical workforce pipeline by 70% in the next 5 years. Hundreds of folks in the community came out to support the UAW Local 42 on May Day as they bargained for a first contract with Volkswagen in Chattanooga, Tennessee. UAW members at Lockheed Martin in Denver, Colorado, and Orlando, Florida went on strike. The company announced $1.7 billion in first quarter profits. They've made $24 billion in profits, and the CEO has made $66 million over the last 3 years, even as they refused to set the starting pay above $15 an hour, refused to lower the pay progression that can be as long as 23 years, and refused to offer Veterans Day as a paid holiday. Shameful. National Nurses United, NNU, and the American Federation of Government Employees, AFGE, Local 518, held a protest in front of the Atlanta VA to protest proposed cuts to the agency. NNU held another protest outside the Frist Gala in Nashville, Tennessee. The Frist family co-founded and owns a significant portion of the Hospital Corporation of America, HCA, where NNU represents 10,000 nurses at 19 facilities, in which is forcing its employees to deal with low pay and understaffing. UPS said in an earnings call that they anticipate cutting 20,000 jobs as a result of decreased demand from Amazon as a result of the tariffs. The Teamsters released a statement reminding the company that they are contractually obligated to create 30,000 jobs, and they will fight attempts to cut Teamster jobs. Though they want to downsize corporate management, the Teamsters won't stand in its way. In political and legislative updates, several unions had statements or events around Trump's first 100 days. As I mentioned, Liz Shuler, president of the AFL-CIO, spoke in an event and highlighted the work that the Department of People Who Work for a Living has done to bring attention to the damage Trump is inflicting on workers. Jimmy Williams of the International Union of Painters and Allied Trades, IUPAT, emphasized in his 1-hour town hall addressing members of his union, emphasized these issues. And More Perfect Union talked to Trump supporters in West Virginia who were unhappy with some of the DOGE cuts, among other things. Gavin Kilger, one of the young DOGE bros, personally helped oversee the attempted elimination of 90% of the staff at the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, despite having $365,000 in stocks at 25 years old in companies that the CFPB regulates, some of which are specifically on the CFPB's list of prohibited holdings. Rules for thee, not for me. Republicans are beginning to unveil their plans to pay for tax cuts for the rich. Among the things on the chopping block, benefits for federal workers. Specifically, they plan to freeze pay, increase employee contributions to the retirement system while cutting benefits, and impose a fee on workers who file grievances against discrimination in the workplace. Federal unions like AFGE are standing up against the proposal. House Republicans are also proposing hundreds of billions in cuts to Pell Grants and other college affordability programs, as well as Medicaid and other federal programs. Bernie Sanders reintroduced Medicare for All in the Senate with the support of the United Auto Workers, UAW. Trump's NLRB picks are saying that they can't downsize the agency more and are still trying to fulfill. They can't downsize the agency more and still fulfill the congressional mandate, but Trump is pushing them for cuts anyways. Steve Early and Suzanne Gordon have a great piece out in the American Prospect detailing Trump's assaults on unions in the VA. DOGE cut $400 million from AmeriCorps, meaning 32,000 AmeriCorps members serving as tutors, coordinating food distribution at pantries, and doing disaster recovery will be left without a stipend. $2.5 million of that was cut from Alabama, and municipalities, technical colleges, and school systems will be directly impacted. ICE agents stormed into the homes of U.S. citizens in Oklahoma in the middle of the night, forcing a mom and her daughters outside in the rain before they even had a chance to get dressed, taking their phones, laptops, and money as, quote, evidence. The Trump administration cut $1 billion in mental health grants for schools, which will put the jobs of thousands of psychologists, mental health workers, and counselors at risk. And in internal union affairs, In These Times magazine has issued its first annual Labor Organizer of the Year awards, profiling 3 labor organizers doing incredibly important work. Did we miss something? Let us know about your union updates. Again, tvlr.fm/contact. You can find the full newsletter online, get that sent to your inbox. There's a lot that we skip over on the show because there's just so much happening every week in Southern labor. So definitely check that out.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.